Hello everyone, in today's compilation we'll show you various incidents involving workers. You'll see how skillfully an excavator can be operated, how different vegetables and seaweed are harvested, how construction workers have fun, and various moments caught on video. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. By doing this, you motivate us to create more interesting compilations. To get rid of a swarm of wild bees in cities that have made a hive at a great height, workers use a special drone equipped with a real flamethrower. The operator directs the drone to the hive and approaches as close as possible. First, the hive is sprayed with a flammable substance, and then it is set on fire. The stream of fire destroys all the pests. To coordinate this process, another drone is used to film the operation. It looks truly impressive. This worker clearly doesn't know what safety protocols are. He's welding metal parts at a great height. Just look at how he balances on a small beam to avoid falling. He is wearing a safety harness, yes, but notice that he has attached it to the very structure he's sitting on. This looks very unreliable. If the structure collapses, the worker will fall. Moreover, he's not wearing protective goggles or a mask to shield his eyes. Watching the welding process for too long can even cause blindness or severely damage your eyesight. A colleague holding the beam is sitting next to him. He too is attached to his safety harness to the structure he's sitting on. Pressure washing tiles is probably the most calming job you can do. If you have this equipment, stress won't be an issue for you. Just watch how mesmerizing it is, even just by looking at a video of workers cleaning sidewalks and dirty tiles. The dirt and buildup that have accumulated on the stone over the years instantly comes off, making it look brand new. Some workers even come up with new ways to entertain themselves. Instead of just cleaning the entire path, some do it gradually, tile by tile, square by square. You could draw various patterns or words and then erase them. You can also clean vent grates or other objects. Some people draw stick figures on the asphalt or create different designs. Admit it, this isn't a boring job at all. Just a few hours of this activity each week and stress will be a thing of the past. These workers are assembling construction structures for special pipes. The process is similar to building with a construction set. Look how coordinated they are. It resembles an anthill. They take turns passing the necessary elements to each other. Perfectly synchronized teamwork. The structures the workers are assembling are scaffolding. It's used for temporary support during the construction or repair of tall buildings. Scaffolding serves as a platform for workers and tools, allowing access to hard-to-reach areas. This is how new road paving is laid leading to a house. An excavator with a special attachment is used for this. The machine smooths out the poured asphalt, leaving an even surface. Now, all that's left is to compact it, and the new path is ready to go. A piece of fabric got caught on the power lines. To remove it, they decided to use a drone with a flamethrower. It worked, but the burning fabric fell, and they had to quickly put it out with fire extinguishers. I hope these workers don't set the whole field on fire. A man set a real record. In just 30 seconds, he cracked 169 walnuts with his elbow. Take a look at the expression on the faces of the onlookers. It seems like they can almost feel it themselves, and the man, well, was quite pleased. After all, he's now a record holder with a steel elbow. These workers are harvesting carrots out in the field. They pulled several out of the ground at once. Look at how beautiful these carrots are, perfectly straight and not dirty from the soil. When they're pulled out, the green tops are cut off with a knife and the roots are left in a row to be collected later into a crate. This man is a true professional at what he does. Using only basic hand tools, he splits this marble block into perfectly even tiles. First, he makes 4 tiles the width of a trowel. A few precise strikes, and the stone splits. Then he begins dividing each tile in half until he ends up with boards just a few millimeters thick. It takes a lot of experience to do this so quickly and skillfully. This is how roof tiles are cleaned. The workers use a special machine that removes dirt and buildup with high-pressure water. For convenience, he first cleans the edges of the roof and then goes over the tiles row by row. The black roof becomes like new again. It takes 2 passes to completely remove all the buildup. The tiles haven't been this clean since they were first laid. The excavator got stuck in the water. It seemed that it would require heavy machinery to pull it out, but for this woman, it's no problem. She got it in the cabin and started pulling the machine out using the manipulator. The bucket pushed the excavator out of the water. In the same way, she was able to free another machine from a large mound of mud. At roadwork and utility repair sites, after rain, potholes are often filled with rainwater. These suction machines come in for the rescue. It rapidly vacuums up the liquid, dirt, and even small stones. It can pump out hundreds of liters of water per minute. Now, it's possible to reach the pipe that was underwater to repair it. To process wooden logs and remove unwanted bark, it's not necessary to do it manually or with heavy machinery. You can use high-pressure water. It instantly strips off the bark, while the valuable wood, which will later be used to make furniture, remains unharmed. Check out the protective suit and mask worn by this man. During such work, pieces of bark fly in different directions, so it's important to protect yourself from injury. The workers are building a retaining wall, but instead of just pouring concrete or laying slabs, they are using special decorative blocks. They arrange them in a specific pattern, like paving stones on sidewalks, so that the wall is not only functional but also visually appealing. To ensure everything is even, they've stretched a special string and tapped each block with a hammer to make sure it's perfect. The man is trying to lift the truck's support. To do this, he needs to turn the jack handle, but look at the effort he has put into it. He's using the whole weight of his body. Some of the cranks are particularly difficult. From this side, it looks a bit funny. He has to jump, squat, and even fall. Meanwhile, his colleague is just standing nearby laughing. The lumberjacks found a way to gently lower large logs to the ground. They tied the wood with ropes and created something like a braking system. This allowed them to slow down the heavy trees as it fell, preventing damage to the lawn and pathway. The construction workers poorly built the formwork for pouring concrete in a new building, and it began leaking through the gaps. Tons of cement started flowing down the stairs and flooding everything around. Now, it will take a lot of money and time to fix everything and collect the spilled concrete. This equipment is used to clean asphalt. Water under high pressure effectively cleans it. The process is mesmerizing. The worker doing this got so absorbed that he started recording it on his phone. When this machine goes along the road, it seems as if the asphalt is brand new and freshly laid, and the white road markings, which were barely visible before, reappear from under the layer of dirt. This is how the needles are prepared for polishing. They need to be laid out parallel into a special tray. For this, a grooved board is used, which must be shaken. It contains approximately 50,000 needles. This may seem like a fairly simple task, but it takes 2 years of training and practice to learn how to do it quickly and correctly. This man has been doing this work for over 30 years, so for him, it's a routine task that he can complete in less than a minute. The excavator operator probably decided to test how strong his colleague's helmet is, or maybe he just didn't like being told what to do. This is how large stone slabs are made. The massive base is first cut up to the desired depth. Then, one worker's strike causes the slab to gently break off. The tractor operator has a very sharp eye. He managed to throw the attachment into the hole without getting out of the tractor, while filming it with his other hand. I wonder if he really did it on the first try. The colleagues were unscrewing a nut so hard that they broke the tool. They must be best friends. Just look at their reaction. They started laughing and having fun. Watch how skillfully this guy applies roofing. With one movement, he removes the packaging and spreads the plates over the surface to secure them faster. He doesn't care that he's up high, because he feels completely confident and even runs to finish quicker. He lays out the roofing and grabs a pneumatic hammer. It only takes him a moment to shoot a few nails and secure all the elements. To dig a hole, you don't necessarily need shovels and heavy physical labor. This man uses a high-pressure water system. It cuts through the soil like a knife through soft butter. The earth turns into mud, leaving only a perfect hole. At the bottom of the hole, there's a special pipe that sucks up the water and mud like a vacuum. This way, you can create a hole of the desired depth and size in just a few minutes without much effort. Creating impressive patterns in fields is a true art. Look at the smooth lines and perfect patterns that are formed. It's hard to imagine how the driver manages to do this without seeing from above what he's creating. The area of these patterns is several hundred square meters. Now they will decorate this farm and surprise people around. who will think that aliens left these drawings. Do you believe that such drawings are left by aliens? Let us know down in the comments. When there's no special equipment, it's not a problem if you have ingenuity. These workers came up with a creative solution. They lifted an excavator with its operator into the air using a crane, who then dismantled the tiles. A farmer, during straw collection, sat in the trailer to catch the bales and stack them in place. A special machine forms the bales and shoots them out, while the catcher grabs them and neatly arranges them. It looks easy and fun. An unusual tool turns a car into special equipment for street cleaning. A powerful compressor helps blow debris, leaves, and dirt off the road. I've never seen anything like it in my life. A very useful accessory for a pickup truck. A worker controls the connection of sections of a new wind turbine. Giant bolts are used to securely connect the sections. He adjusted one of the guide elements so it fits perfectly into the hole. When the largest bolt is in place, the crane slowly lowers the section. The worker adjusts them with just a few punches. All the bolts fit perfectly into the holes. These guys are mowing the lawn using large lawnmowers. It looks like they're having a real race. Look how fast they're going, and who says mowing the lawn is boring and uninteresting? If I had such a mower, I would do it every day. This is how a whole swarm of hornets, which settled near a farm, is collected. These insects can cause a lot of harm, especially to bees. Look at the enormous nest the swarm has made. The man took a plastic bottle and placed it near the opening where the insects are flying out. He began to gently tap on the nest so that the hornets would sense danger and start flying out. This needs to be done carefully so that the nest doesn't fall, causing them to scatter and attack. Therefore, it's quite dangerous as they sting painfully. Within just a few minutes, the bottle was completely filled with these insects, trapping them inside. Previously, to clean windows at great heights, workers had to climb up using climbing gear. But now, this process is much safer. Drones are used for this purpose. A hose connected to the drone supplies water and detergent under pressure. The process resembles washing a car at a car wash. To remove all the dirt, you need to go over the area several times. Notice how dirty the windows were and how they look after cleaning. With the operators controlling the drone, it feels like a game. The goal is to clean everything without leaving any spots. A crew of workers is repairing the roof of a house. First, they remove the old covering, which is crumbling before their eyes. They do this with large shovels. The wooden base needs to be insulated from water and moisture, so they lay down a special film. Wooden boards that have swollen from water are removed and replaced with new ones. They cut them right on the roof and immediately put them in place. The team brought a special machine to manufacture metal shingles. The machine creates a corrugated surface on a metal sheet and cuts them to size. The workers manually bend the edges and trim the excess. Now they can start laying the shingles on the roof, securing them with special fasteners. Watch how confidently they move on the steep slope of the roof without any safety harnesses. During breaks, they can do some sports and show off tricks on the roof. And now, the new roof is ready. Admit it, the new roof does look pretty great. The man seems to be one with the excavator. He pours concrete into a trench and does it very quickly while moving. He has a special bucket to transport the concrete. This only takes him a few seconds, then he turns the concrete mixer, and while the bucket fills up, he can take a short break. The new apartment owner in a newly constructed building was shocked by the even walls. Apparently, the builder who did this either didn't have the right tool and did everything by eye, or was in a great hurry, and this was the result. An inventive man found a way to load large and heavy logs into a trailer without any help. He only needed a board to create a ramp and a rope. It looks like a street workout, where instead of professional equipment, you use whatever is at hand. The excavator operator carefully removes a layer of asphalt on a bike path. Look at how skillfully he does it, moving the debris into a container. It's like playing a claw machine game. He's probably unbeatable at those machines if he controls the manipulator so perfectly. Have you ever played those games? Write it down in the comments. To care for decorative bushes in a garden, you need to be a true professional. This gardener uses tools to trim the plants and create perfect shapes and patterns of various forms. It's a real art to turn living plants into such unique sculptures that please the eyes of residents and park visitors. In this special bag, something resembling syrup or sunflower oil was brought to the recycling plant. The worker made a small cut so the liquid could flow into the receiving tank. Since it's thicker than water, the stream seems to freeze as it pours out. This effect is called laminar flow. It's a fascinating optical illusion that's enjoyable to watch, offering a break from the mundane. The workers watch this unusual effect, which isn't something you see too often. A bulldozer levels and prepares a special truck for an extreme mountain biking competition. From the side, it looks funny as the machine climbs over the bumps and smooths them out with its blade. The driver is a true master. Maybe he should participate in the competition with his bulldozer. If not first place, he would surely win the audience's favor. A farmer on a tractor is trying to load bales of hay. Some of them turned out to be a bit wider than needed, so they barely fit into the special trailer. How funny it looks. Not on the first try, but he eventually manages to do it. After that, it was much easier for him to fill the trailer without any problems. He quickly finished his work. A worker is washing a very dirty road sign. He has a special brush from which water is sprayed under high pressure. He carefully cleans the entire sign, removing a layer of dirt that hasn't been cleaned for months. Just look at how soothing this video is. You could watch this process for a long time. A sign that was covered in dirt just a few seconds ago now looks like it was just installed. They need to be cleaned regularly to be more visible at night. This is how wild honey is harvested. The bees create huge honeycombs. Usually these hives are located very high up, so beekeepers use climbing gear. Their suits protect them from millions of stings from wild insects. They use large shovels or sticks to scare the insects away from the combs so they can cut off portions with large knives. Look at how appetizing this fresh honey looks as it flows out. They say it's much tastier than honey from domestic bees. But because it's so hard and dangerous to harvest, it's very expensive. Would you like to try such honey? Write it down in the comments. The operator uses a special excavator attachment to dig a pit with perfectly straight and sloped walls. Such precision is needed to install a pool. The dimensions and angles must be perfectly aligned, making this a meticulous task. Look how precisely he levels the ground and removes all the excess, as if a razor carefully slices through the soil. It's reminiscent of building a sandcastle at the beach. It looks pretty easy, but to do this, you need to have great control over the manipulator. Farmers are harvesting watermelons in the field. They've loaded up a huge truck. Look at how neatly they've arranged the ripe fruits. One man tosses 2 watermelons at a time to his partner, who carefully places them to avoid damaging the fruit. From a distance, it looks like they're tossing light balls. But it's actually quite tough because each watermelon weighs 7 to 10 kilograms. You need to be in pretty good shape to do this so skillfully. A man is dismantling a tall brick tower. He is a real professional. He doesn't need explosives or heavy equipment for this. First, he made a hole in the wall and placed a mechanical jack. He raises it by pressing the levers with both hands. A crack quickly appeared and the tower began to lean. When the man noticed it starting to fall, he ran to a safe distance and pulled the jack out with a strap he had attached to it. Since it's very tall, one crack and a slight tilt were enough to bring it down. The structure collapsed with a loud crash, kicking up a cloud of dust. In their free time, excavator operators entertain themselves and hone their skills. This driver came up with a way to test his dexterity. He set up empty bottles and created 5 levels of difficulty, like in a game. He gradually tossed the bottles into the bucket. They all stayed inside and not a single one fell out. He really knows how to handle this machine. This farm grows leeks. The green part is valuable and is eaten fresh, added to salads, or dried. On this field, there are perfect rows of plants. When it's time to harvest, the tops are trimmed. The man made a homemade tool from a mower, a cart, and planks. He walks between the rows, trimming the plants, then a special combine comes into play, which pulls the leeks out of the ground. The machine grabs and pulls them out, shaking off the remaining soil. 3 workers immediately bundle them and pack them into a special strap. The leeks are sorted by hand right during the harvest. Anything that looks bad is left in the field. What is sent to the stores is carefully sorted and stacked on a shelf in a truck that moves along the rows. The workers who do well drilling came up with a creative solution. There's a gas pipe running through the client's property, and it was blocking the drill's dig path. Instead of moving the pipe, they decided to dig 2 trenches for the wheels. The large machine with the equipment was able to pass under the pipe without touching it. It passed with just a few centimeters to spare. The clients were pleased that the problem was solved so easily. The construction workers are having fun on the site while pouring concrete over rebar. One of them sat on the pipe from which the cement is flowing. He's swinging on it like a swing, entertaining his colleagues. They're laughing and filming it on their phones. At that moment, he kinda reminds you of Miley Cyrus swinging on a wrecking ball, or the lead singer of Rammstein spraying foam at the audience during a concert, sitting on a special cannon. It's nice when even during hard work, there's a chance to have fun and lift your spirits. A worker skillfully handles the manipulator and was able to make his colleagues' jobs easier. He effortlessly grabbed everything they needed from the truck: ropes, excavator buckets, metal platforms, using his pincers. He arranged them in the necessary spots and started digging a pit around the pipe. It seems like he could do all the work by himself without even leaving the control panel. His colleagues are just standing nearby, watching as he does all the work for them. It's probably great to have such a skilled worker who handles the excavator so well. Workers are harvesting and processing seaweed. The seaweed looks like gelatinous tubes. This is kelp, which is used to make spicy sauces. They cut it into smaller pieces right on the boat using sharp knives to transport a larger amount of the catch. Look at how quickly they do it with the sharp knives. The workers have a lot of experience and skilled hands since they do this very often. The top part of the seaweed looks like film. They cut it off and place it in separate containers from the tubular stems. Which video did you like the most? Write it down in the comments what you'd like to see in our next compilations. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any new videos. See you next time.